So this is part one of our four-part event series. And as marketing people, we really should have came up with a much more creative name than a four-part
Right?
event series. So we'll have to work on that.
We'll work on that. We'll have
We'll,
something for them next time.
yeah, we'll have something for them next time. I
It's
love
another
that.
reason to
But
tune in.
right? So our last video, our first video, we're really happy with the performance that it's been doing, and we're really excited to keep doing these videos. And so we decided to do a four-part event series so that we could demonstrate really our value to clients, prospects, just the community at large to really pour into them. And so we'll do this similarly to like an interview style like I did last time. But to get started, why don't we go ahead and just introduce ourselves, instead of us just talking to the internet kind of knows a little bit about us. So you go first. You're the boss.
I am the boss. I am Lisa Fronick. I'm the owner of Generate Sales and Marketing and have been since 2008, which that doesn't seem possible because, still so
You're
young.
28, right?
Right? Yeah. Started this business when I was a baby. I am very passionate about promo and all the things that it can do for your company. We love to share. Creativity's our jam. And I'm coming to you from Northwest Indiana.
I love it. And I'm Tristen Kerwin, and I'm rejoining the Generate team after a 6-year stint of being away from the team. But Generate is where I got my start and where I fell in love with promotional marketing, but also marketing in general. And so I love to bring our clients and random people on the internet bright ideas and just really share and get creative with all of you. And so we're excited. So we decided to, I'll just jump right in, do an event series because exhibiting at events, even though we only do it about 4 or 5 times a year, is a really strong way that we are able to get new prospects and just kind of get general brand awareness out there. And we are a little picky, and we'll talk a little bit about that, of the events that we participate in, but it is event season, as I like to call it. And so now is the time to do your prep work and those kinds of things. So the 4 parts we're going to break this out into are event selection and strategy, which we'll talk about today, event preparation, day of engagement, and everyone's favorite, post-event follow-up. No, the work doesn't stop after you're exhausted after multiple days or one day of expoing.
I mean, it usually does stop then, but it shouldn't.
It should not
It
stop.
definitely shouldn't stop then.
It should not stop.
And can I say, like, one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this particular topic is because there's so many companies that we work with where their employees, their staff have to go do these events. They don't generally look forward to it unless it's just a day out of the office. We have worked with so many people where there is no strategy, there is no plan, there is, no idea of why we're even doing this. It's just not because we do events. And if you change just some of that, you change all of it. Because all of a sudden, if you have a plan, now you also have the passion for it. You have, kind of that KPI that you're looking at to see exactly how that event worked for you. And, we've got to get more serious about these events, why we're doing what we're doing.
It's true. And I'm really excited for, of course, this episode, but our next episode, because it's about day of preparation. And that's where you and your team can come up with a really fun strategy that makes them want to actually talk to people and really warms up that awkward moment where you're looking at someone walking down the expo aisle and they're looking at you sitting at your table. By the way, you shouldn't be sitting at your table, but we'll get to that later. So yeah. This is going to be a great series to get people reinvigorated and excited. But sometimes the best way for us to really demonstrate how to do things is to give an example. And ironically, we have an event coming up at the end of the month. And so I'm going to use that with you as I kind of guide you through this conversation.
Okay.
To pick your brain about how we're making decisions through these 4 parts.
All right.
So the event is a symposium that we've attended before with one of our healthcare clients.
Yes, it sure is.
So you are welcome to go into as much or as little detail as you would like.
Okay.
But how did you go about even like selecting and saying, yep, we're in, we'll do the event? Like, why did you decide to?
Yeah, we were originally just asked by the client because it's a client that we love working with, have a great relationship and partnership with them. We were asked to be part of it just as a sponsor. And so we turned around and said, hey, if we're going to sponsor the event, can you create an opportunity for us where we can really highlight who we are and what we do? And because they work well with us and you know, they're a valued partner, they were all in to that idea as well. So that would be the first thing is there some ability within the events that you're looking at to sort of fine tune them and instead of just doing sort of more general sponsorships, it never hurts to ask. Can you ask if we can do this or that to actually highlight what it is that we do on a regular basis so that you're really demonstrating your unique selling proposition or your unique place in the market at that event. And this one, saying yes to this last year was a no-brainer because they are a valued partner and we got so much out of it last year that, of course, repeating it and saying yes to it this year, even at a higher and slightly different level than we did the previous year, again, just it made perfectly good sense. So you can choose events based on, is it something that's really going to be of value and benefit to our business? There is another way though, and sometimes we choose events because it's personally something we're passionate about and we want to support the event, or it's maybe more of a community event and we're coming out to support our community and to be part of our community. So there are a couple different things to look at, but if it's time and money that you're spending, you have to make sure that there's at least a reasonable opportunity that you're going to get back some of what you're putting in.
Yeah. So with this event, did who is attending the event play a part in your decision at all? Like the target market, right? Did you ask those kinds of questions before kind of pulling the trigger?
Yeah, the beauty of it is that when you're asking whoever's hosting the event, who's the market? Who do you expect to have here? You can immediately, and again, you need to know who your target market is. A lot of times we ask that question and we'll get answers like everybody, we can promote to everybody. Well, you can, but should you be? Is this event going to actually attract the people you need to be speaking to and the people that you need to get in front of and who need to know more about your business? So in this case, it was wonderful because this happens to be a client who markets to the same type of people that we market to, but two totally different types of products. So they're attracting the targets that we want to this event, but it's not like we're competing with them for the voice at that event.
Yeah. How many people would you say attended this event last year? Like ish, like under 100, over 100?
Yeah, probably between 100, 150 in that range.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a reasonably decent sized event to where we're going to be able to prospect some folks.
Right. And what I would say to, some of our watchers is, it really depends on your market. So if this is a very targeted market for us, I would say 80% of the people at that event, attending that event, are good prospects for us.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter that there's only 100 to 150. If you're going to have an event that, maybe only 10 or 20% are reasonable for you, now in order for it to really make sense, you better be getting 1,000 or 2,000 people walking through that event. So you need to look at it from that standpoint as well.
Yeah. I really like that you ask the questions to prospective events that we're going to, or you have us ask the questions, right? Because you can learn so much from that, especially if you've never been there, right? It's like, okay, are we going to invest in this, or are we just going to attend this year and kind of scope it out? Because it is always nice when you get personally invited to an event, but it doesn't mean it's the right opportunity. I also liked what you said about the size of the event. Actually, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were invited to come exhibit at a very small event. However, the prospects were incredible.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We were able to be put in front of some folks we wouldn't have otherwise been in the room with in that manner, right? And had some of those one-on-one conversations. So with that, one thing I just wanted to highlight for people who are watching is, number one, size is a consideration, but it's also about what you said, Lisa, the percentage of people who are qualified prospects or who you're trying to get in front of with whatever you're trying to accomplish. And then two, of course, look at, okay, does this make sense for the direction our business is going in? Are you in a growth phase, or are you more in a general, like, brand management or like sales management state where you don't need to grow a significant amount. So you could go to events that are kind of lower in that percentage.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I spent years doing events and helping out, participating, chairing events for our local chamber.
Yep.
And one of the things I think that frustrated me in some ways with a lot of event participants is they go and they do their day at the event. That's pretty much it. To me, an event is another community. And if every single person who
Oh,
has a table or a booth at that event takes some ownership of it and decides to promote the event to those targets,
mhm.
and if you go to the people who are putting on the event and say, who do you need here? Who do I maybe know? How can I help you get more people in? If you have an event with, 100 booths and everyone can just bring in 5 more people,
Yep.
I'm no math major, but I'm pretty sure that that's a reasonable extra boost in attendance right there. And
Yep.
it's benefiting you and it's benefiting everyone else who's an active participant.
Yep, absolutely. And that brings us to the second thing we're going to talk about today, which are goals. And I love, love, love that you brought up that topic because that's not always a goal, like recruiting people to the event doesn't frequently come up when people sit down and say, okay, why am I doing this event? Right? That done. We already talked about that. But 2, what am I trying to accomplish at this event?
Right.
Right. And so if we look at our upcoming event, and I'm going to put you on the spot. So if
All
you
right.
haven't done your prep work yet on this event,
Right.
we're about to, which I'm
Well,
excited
good,
about,
good. All
right?
right, here we
Like
go.
we're checking some stuff off. We're checking
Let's
some
go.
stuff
That's
off our
more
list.
multitasking is what we're doing.
So kind of in summary, what is our goal or what are 2 of our goals at the event that's coming up?
So I would say that we would like to make at least 20 new warm contacts.
Okay.
And we should be able to do that with the size of this event. It's in a new location. So we have new markets coming in the door. Otherwise, it might have been more of the same people from last year. Those secondary touches are great, but we want 20 new leads.
Yep.
And then we want that second shot at, let's say, 5 of the leads that we made last year and have been warming up all year, but have not quite closed.
Yep.
So I'd like to close 5 that were already previous leads.
Okay.
After that, it's more of a general goal of just supporting this event because it is a client that we work with and value. So,
yep. I like it. It's funny because in my mind, I'm like, okay, I would be happy with 20 warm leads. And also because at this point, I'm doing a lot of our follow-up.
Yep.
I'm doing a lot of our follow-up. And so, hey, if you're at Working Well Symposium in a couple of weeks, I'll be the one following up with you. So come
you'll
see
be
us.
talking to. Yeah. Yeah.
Come see us.
Yeah.
But I love that you said 20 because that's also manageable, right?
Yep.
When we look at our time and we look at the number of clients we're able to, or prospects, able to like really serve well in the beginning, because there is some startup time when
Of
we're
course.
working with new people and we're really trying to cultivate that relationship versus being transactional. Like we want to be
Right.
warm and fuzzy and bring them into the culture of Generate and start working with them and sharing ideas with them. So I like that that's also manageable.
Yeah.
But we have
And
the
you know,
same
like,
goal.
right. And
Yeah.
we usually do.
We
And
usually
my
do.
goal, of course, is always to get those conversations at the event. Make
Yep.
sure that we're talking to people, we're writing down those ideas, we're talking to them about, even at the event, how do you want us to follow up with you? So we'll have a follow-up strategy that covers everyone that we meet. And this is an event where our ability to capture every lead at that event, like every single person, is high. We will definitely have that information. We're given those lists after, so we can definitely follow up. But as everyone knows, the follow-up email, it does nothing. If we can go back and say, we spoke to you about this, we talked to our team about it and came up with these ideas, and we can provide that collateral on that first touch. Yep. That's even better. It shows that we care. We're thinking about you. We're already going through some ideation and some plans on what we want to send your way.
Yep. I love that. So as we're planning for the event, something you just brought up was follow-up. So are we already talking about follow-up before
we are
the
talking
event
about follow-up
has even
right
happened?
off the bat? Yeah. Yep.
right off the bat. So what are some of your favorite ways to follow up? You mentioned it a little bit. What are some of your favorite ways to follow up with prospects or connections you make at an event type setting?
Okay, so because this is an area that the ball is dropped so often,
Yep.
because you do get back, now you've been out of the office a day or two, depending on the event. There's a lot going on. You have to catch up. It's crazy. You're trying to put lists together. Be ready to follow up before you ever leave. So if you can just have a very basic, so glad we got a chance to see you at this event, ready to go. Hit send the day after. Let them know in that email, we're going to be following up with you more specifically in the coming days. Now you have a few days to do that. After that, it's just a matter of triaging that list of 20 people and how do you want to go ahead and reach out to them going forward and be ready for that. And then on the others, what we refer to as the drip campaign. So the others that maybe really aren't great prospects for us right now, for whatever reason, or don't have a need for us or already work with someone, whatever that might look like, we still want to be their backup plan. We still want to stay on their radar. So how can we just do kind of a drip campaign? And even though we're talking about follow-up, that's actually going to be part of your day of strategy as well, because how are you capturing all that? And if whoever you're working with is giving you a list of contacts, that's great. But if they're not, it's up to you to drive the traffic to your booth and make sure that you are collecting the data you need to do effective follow-up and also to triage and rate that follow-up. Who are those top 20 people you need to get back to? And who are the ones that, okay, these are for later. We are, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say this right now because you might have other plans for this.
I don't know.
So we also are starting our rewards and referral program. So that our clients and our prospects will be able to earn right bucks to get some great items. We're super excited about it. So that's one of the things that we'll plan on promoting at this event. So even if you come to our booth and we talk to you and we hit it off and we get along great, but maybe you're not the buyer, or maybe your company doesn't really even utilize promo or attend events, you're not for us. Doesn't mean you can't still make a great connection with us, can't still be a great partner, and we can still get you some great stuff, have some fun with you, and mutually help one another in some way. And we'll take those referrals and reward you for sending us to, other contacts and associates you may have who can buy from us.
So I have a challenge for you. So on our next episode, I don't know if you want to let the cat out of the bag or not, but maybe you could come up with something that we're not actually doing, but it's still a really good idea. In our next episode, how are we going to creatively and uniquely ask people to sign up at our booth? So that's going to be for the next episode, right? Because it's not just about saying, hey, we have a rewards program. There's strategy. There's a strategy and a creative way to get a line at your booth, which is the second episode. And probably, I know it's my favorite part to talk about actual event prep.
It's my favorite part. It's the part that anyone who has it's also everybody who has a booth next to us or around us. It's their least favorite part because we usually have a line at our booth and create some buzz and some stir, and our neighbors at events don't always love that, but our goal is to teach them. We're also an open book and we share all of our ideas. We don't keep the best ones just for us. So one of the things we want is for those people who don't have a line, come talk to us, when you have a free moment. Let's find out how to get you a line.
Yep, absolutely. So we're running out of time because we're going to be committed to keeping this watchable and biteable, right?
Yep.
So just a couple of reminders. So this first segment was about that pre-event preparation, right? Selecting the event and setting your goals. So number one, when you're invited to an event or you're considering an event, make sure it makes sense, right? Make sure that it makes sense with where you're headed and that the people that you need to reach, regardless of the business you're in, right? You could be a nonprofit organization, you could be in banking, you could be in education. Events are a great way to get out there, but it has to be the right event.
Right.
So those are the couple nuggets that I had. Anything else you want to add about evaluating events, whether or not they should do it?
I think sometimes it's a vast target or vast audience. So you're going to have everything from kids to seniors. You're not marketing to all of them, and you don't need to. You can define that market. Don't try to just be everything to everybody. And I know we'll talk more in the next one about scaling your outreach at the event so that you can quickly qualify those leads and decide where to spend your time, how to segment those to do what you need to do and make sure you're talking to the right people. So yeah, there might be 2,000 people at the event. If only 200 of them are for you, that's fine. How do we attract those 200? How do we get the conversation started with those 200?
Well, and I also think it goes to show, or like something we should say is, it's okay to reserve your time and energy for the right people, even though that there are other people there. That's not to say you should ignore someone walking by or anything like that.
Right.
But quickly qualify those leads, like what you said.
Absolutely.
So the second reminder, set SMART goals, right? So those are your specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So specific. Well, just start by having a goal, right?
Have a goal.
And then have a goal. Make sure that that goal, though, is measurable. So whether that's you want a certain increase in percentage of sales, right? Or you want to increase the number of referrals or some sort of quantifiable metric, achievable. Okay, we all love to blow our goals out of the water, right?
Yep.
But make sure you can do that. Like, don't set yourself up for failure. And then the next one, relevant. Make sure that it's relevant to, oh my gosh, he's just the best. I love it.
I know.
A little visitor, that's the best thing.
So, Hudson's making a video appearance.
Does HUD have anything else to add?
HUD, do you have anything to add? Except that we're way over 7 minutes.
I love it. I love it. So yes, Hudson was a relevant part of this video.
That's right.
And time bound, right? Like,
yes.
You got to make sure to schedule that outreach following up the event. Schedule it when you book the event. Literally put it on your calendar, because if you don't put it on your calendar, you're going to come back after those couple days out of the office and you're going to say, where's the time? I don't have the time. And then it's going to be 6 months later and those leads are frozen. They're cold.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think those are all good. I think too, I'm going to tease another little thing real quick, which is that we're working on.
You're going rogue.
I am going rogue on you. I know. We're working on yet another tool that we can provide for our clients and prospects that is going to help with some of this and lead them kind of right into the, generate milieu of everything that we do and we are, and introduce them to some more of these concepts, help them with this, help them put it together. This stuff there's a lot of things that aren't easy for us, like the math that I alluded to earlier. So like, there's a lot of things that aren't easy for us, like math, but creativity and coming up with events like this are easy for us. It's not easy for everybody. And it's not easy always to get your team excited about what their role is. We should, in one of the videos as well, maybe number three, we should talk about how to get your team excited about doing some of these things. If they're not going to buy into your concept and what you're doing, you're going to have more of these things where somebody's just sitting behind a booth, earning a paycheck, and not even remotely engaged with what's going on.
At that point, you just shouldn't have even gone. If you're not going to make it work for you, you don't have to waste your time, you know?
Yeah.
But we're here to make sure people don't waste their time or waste marketing dollars and all that good stuff. I'm excited about this. Great first episode. I
hope everyone watching got some stuff out of it. I hope they comment and share and give us some great feedback on not only what they ask questions. We'll watch the chat. We'll answer.
And also, we'll need some future examples for events to create plans for. So if you want an upcoming event that you're participating in featured on this, no, you don't have to be on camera. We may just shoot you a message and ask a couple more questions, but we can also live come up with an event plan for you and your company or organization, which we love thinking on our feet and doing that. And I'm not going to tell Lisa about it ahead of time.
Oh, see, that's all right. That's fine.
But thank you so much for tuning in. This was Time to Shine, and I'm Tristen, and that was Lisa.
Thanks
Thanks, guys.